Hi, this is Derek Wilson with a video about assessing your client's needs. In this video, we'll talk about some items to request, maybe some questions that you can ask your clients to get the information you need in order to prepare a proposal and to consult them on what they are trying to accomplish. Remember, we need to look at this from how are we going to benefit them. A lot of advisors, what they'll just go out there and do is just sell, without any regard. Do the bully approach where it's, why is everyone else different? But we want to take this from a consultative approach, differentiate ourselves, and really look at what our clients are trying to accomplish throughout this process. So here's some things we need to get in order to take a holistic approach to assessing their plan. The first is the adoption agreement. This is the administration document that tells how the plan is being run, what the eligibility requirements are, entry dates, profit sharing allocations, profit sharing formula. By getting this information, we can see what the plan is doing now and give some areas on maybe some places where we can improve the plan. The next thing we'll need is the enrollment kit or the enrollment form. The reason we need this is to talk about what share classes are in, some of the fees that are being charged. Maybe it may give an inclination of the asset management charge that either the broker or the provider is charging. And actually, with fee disclosure coming out, we should be able to get this information a little more readily, so to take a fee approach to the plan. The investment policy statement, I mentioned this before, most companies do not have one of these. This is key in order to find out how well their current advisor, current provider is servicing them. Some of the advisors that are focused on selling 401k plans will definitely have this, but if their advisor hasn't talked to them in ages or not current on 401k regulations, more than likely they're not going to have this investment policy statement. If other advisors are presenting to your client or to this client and you bring this up and they don't, this kind of sets you up apart from them. You may also want a letter from their current provider. What this will allow you to do is get additional information from the provider. Maybe some of the investments have a surrender charge, or if there's a surrender charge on the contract. If they have fixed accounts, maybe there is some fees that are tacked on if it were the contract were to leave. So we really need to get the information on the previous provider, see if there's going to be any charges to move that plan. Now, there are going to be some pre-meeting questions. Some of these may also be in the first meeting, but the more information you have prior to the meeting, the better. So I'm going to do some questions to ask your client in order to get the information you need in order to help them out. What are the most important aspects of your 401k plan? We're trying to get a feel of what they value. Is it service? Is it fees? Is it the technology? This kind of gives you an answer to what they like about their plan. What are the 3 areas you want to improve? They might blatantly say, well, it might be the investments. They're doing terrible. I haven't seen the broker in 5 years, or I haven't seen the guy since he sold me the plan. Or the administrator has me fill out way too much paperwork. I'd like a streamlined process. This will give you an area on, who in your team that would be best suited to maybe either come into the meeting or how you can help them improve their plan. Who are the key decision makers and what are their titles and roles? You want to make sure the decision maker is there. I've been to several meetings to where gone through the whole meeting and whole sales process, sold the plan, and we get to the enrollment meeting, smaller company, and the owner, that's the first time he's ever even heard of the plan. So he's asking first meeting questions in the enrollment meeting. The plan's already been sold. Everything's already been set up. Enrollment kits have been ordered. And you're sitting there and he's asking questions about why did we choose this provider? You want to make sure the decision maker is there. What is the timing of your review? What is the deadline? This gives you an idea of if they're serious or if they're just curious. You want to have an idea if they're looking at, we want to get this done by January 1. Well, it's December 15th. More than likely, that's not going to be able to get set up. So we want to give them an understanding or have an understanding of what their expectations are to see if we'll be able to meet those expectations. we talked a little bit about this a little bit earlier, but how many other advisor consultants are you reviewing? Get information on that. Maybe you'll get an idea of if you've done several plans, or if you have different providers you work with, you'll know what they're trying to pitch, and you'll also know maybe how your plan or your proposal is better than theirs. So you'll be able to have a feel for what the competition is doing and be able to set yourself up differently than the competition. Are there any outside consultants assisting you with your search? On smaller plans, this probably isn't going to be quite a big deal as if you get maybe a 10 or 15, $20 million plan. But you may have a CPA involved. You may have a consultant that does a full review of the plan. On smaller plans, like I said, it's not as much a factor as it is on the larger plans, but this will give you an idea of how much firepower you need to bring to the meeting. Let's talk a little bit about the first meeting and maybe a little bit about the agenda in that first meeting. If you've got the pre-meeting questions, you'll have an idea of what to talk about. Typically at the first of the meeting, there's small talk. Get to know each other a little bit if you don't know them. If you've brought in outside consultants or other team members, such as wholesalers, administration companies, or things of that nature, get to know them a little bit. Set the agenda from the pre-meeting questions, why you're here and how you can add value. Take out 3 benefits from the pre-meeting questions. Is there anything else you would like me to expand on from our agenda? This gives them the opportunity to talk about maybe something additional that I didn't talk to you about, or maybe you've built a little more trust, so this is really what we want to talk about also. Now, what should you talk about during the meeting, or what are some of the key points that should go over in your proposal? Obviously, investment, performance, and information. Some of the service provided to human resources. How are they going to be trained on the system? How do they submit payroll? Maybe some highlights of the different ways that HR is going to act or interact with the different service providers. Also, customer service for the participants. Is there an 800 number they call? What educational materials are they going to receive? Provider technology, website, education, things of that nature. Fiduciary issues. But what responsibilities does the employer or the decision makers have in this? Costs. Go over all the fees involved in the plan. And finally, reputation strength of the provider. In the close, why pick us, and then let me explain. Don't go in there and say something to the effect of, is there any reason why you would not pick us today? Employers really do not like that approach. It sticks them on the defensive and very uncomfortable. You may get away with that in a few situations, but all in all, it's been proven not to work. In this why pick us, you go over maybe 2 or 3 benefits why your plan is beneficial to them, and then 2 or 3 ways that you're different.